An administrator in the constitutional practice of some countries in the Commonwealth is a person who fulfills a role similar to that of a governor or a governor-general. Usually the office of administrator is a temporary appointment for periods during which the governor is incapacitated, outside the territory, or otherwise unable to perform his or her duties. The process for selecting administrators varies from country to country. In the Commonwealth of Australia, the administrator is usually called the Administrator of the Commonwealth. State governors hold a dormant commission, and by convention the longest-serving state governor becomes administrator. In the states of Australia, the administrator is usually the Chief Justice of the state Supreme Court or the next most senior justice. In 2001, the Constitution of Queensland was amended to restore the office of Lieutenant Governor in that state. An administrator of the government in Canada is a constitutional practice where an individual is empowered to perform the functions of the office of the Governor-General in the event that the Governor-General is incapable of rendering their constitutional duties, or if the position of Governor-General is vacant following a resignation or death. The provisions to select the administrator of the government in Canada is outlined in Article 8 of the Letters Patent, 1947, which identifies that the Chief Justice of Canada assumes the role as administrator should the need arise. In the absence of the Chief Justice, the Senior Queen Justice of the Supreme Court of Canada is designated as the administrator of the government. Prior to the signage of the Letters Patent, 1947, the administrator of the government was directly appointed by the monarch. An administrator of the government is not required if a Governor-General is absent for less than 30 days, with the Governor-General empowered to designate a Deputy Governor-General to act on their behalf. Richard Wagner is the most recent in Canada designated as the Administrator of the Government, having been sworn into the position on the 23rd of January 2021 after the resignation of Julie Payette. The constitutional practice of an administrator of the government is also found within the provinces of Canada, with provincial administrators of the government assuming the functions of the office of the Lieutenant Governor in the event that office is vacant or its holder is incapable of rendering their duties. A justice of a provincial superior court is designated as a provincial administrator of government. The term administrator is also used in the Canadian territory of Yukon. Although the position of administrator in Yukon is analogous to a deputy commissioner of Yukon. In Ceylon, the officer administering the government in the absence of the Governor-General of Ceylon was the Chief Justice of Ceylon. In the absence of the Chief Justice, the acting Chief Justice would serve in this place. Ceylon had two acting Governor-Generals. When Hong Kong was a British Crown colony, the Chief Secretary is the acting Chief Executive. Under Letters Patent issued in 1983 and revised in 2006, the Chief Justice of New Zealand will be Administrator, followed by the other judges of the New Zealand judiciary in order of seniority. Links. As a former external territory of Australia, the head of the territory's administration was called the Administrator of Papua New Guinea before independence in 1975. The appointment was by the Governor-General of Australia on the advice of the Australian Minister of External Territories. The Minister for External Territories consulted with the territory's Chief Minister as part of the appointment process. On the 11th of November 1965, the self-governing British colony of Southern Rhodesia made a unilateral declaration of independence, although it continued to recognize the British monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, as head of state, with oaths of allegiance to Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth, Queen of Rhodesia, her heirs and successors. However, the Rhodesian Front government of Ian Smith ceased to recognize the authority of her de jure representative, Governor Sir Humphrey Gibbs. Instead, on the 17th of November, it appointed the former Deputy Prime Minister, Clifford DuPont, to the post of acting officer administering the government. Opponents of UDI who considered it an illegal move, such as the independent member of the Legislative Assembly, Arne Pillay, refused to recognize DuPont's office, and walked out of the opening of Parliament when DuPont came to deliver the speech from the throne. On the 2nd of December, Smith wrote a personal letter to the Queen, asking her to accept DuPont as the new Governor-General. In response, he was told that, Her Majesty is not able to entertain purported advice of this kind, and has therefore been pleased to direct that no action shall be taken upon it. Under the 1965 draft constitution, if the Queen did not appoint a Governor-General within 4